Hello everybody and welcome to my Oxygen Not Included geyser tier list. Today we're going to be ranking all of the geysers, volcanoes, vents, geyser, fissure. Now I'm going to start with the carbon dioxide geyser here. I'm personally going to put it in niche / limited for the sole reason that I can make use of this. In the Spaced Out DLC, I can make use of it for rocket fuel. It's easy to tame. You just put some metal tiles around it and a gas pump. Doesn't really produce much. The only other use I could think of it is if you're really hurting for carbon dioxide to, I don't know, turn regular water into polluted water for crops, or you could feed it to slicksters, but you'd have to heat it a bit. It's just not really useful, not quite useless, but very limited. Next, I'd say Cool Slush Geyser. I'm gonna put this either essential or good. Yeah, I'll put it in essential. You're going to want to take it, in my opinion. If you see it, you can take it fairly easily. Well, actually, I'm gonna bump it down to good, because yes, it is cold, but it's also colder than regular water. So even if you desalinate it or purify it, I guess, it's not gonna really be worth it because you'd have to heat it up somehow. So it's gonna go in good. Polluted water vent. I'm gonna put it either good or essential again. I think I'll do essential for actually, top of good. The only downside of this one is it has germs, and you don't really want to pump that throughout your base. But other than that, I'd take it. So it's going to stay at the top of good. Cool Salt Slush Geyser, same as normal Slush Geyser. Cold, but I put it in front because at least the desalinator produces a good chunk of heat. Saltwater Geyser, good. It's hot, so it's not really good for crops or oxygen because you need to cool it down. So I'd put it back here. Now you can pair them up. If you find one, like a Cool Salt Slush Geyser, close to a regular salt geyser, you can build them together and have them pour into the same pool. And then it stays at equal temperatures, I guess. But other than that, it's not really worth it to take. Same thing for the water geyser, but I'm going to put it in front because you get pure water. Liquid sulfur geyser. This is a new one for the Spaced Out DLC. And it's cool, but you don't really need it. I'm going to put it in okay. You only need it if you're feeding it to Sweetles or giving it to the specific kind of crop. And you need to cool it. So, at that point, just take something else. Do something else with it. You can use water to grow bristle blossoms or sleet wheat. Leaky oil fissure. Niche. Really, really niche. I'm going to put it in front of the carbon dioxide geyser. Just for the sole purpose of... It's if you're really hurting for oil. I'm currently on a seed where I only get 3 oil reservoirs. So if I had one right now, I would take it. Just to have that little extra oil. But there's the thing. Just a little extra oil. Not much, and it's hot, so Good for putting in a petroleum boiler. Not really good for much else. Now I'm gonna overview it real quick. Ooh, I think I'm gonna put polluted water vent in essential. Of course, if you see water, you should obviously take it. But I'd take this one. If I had to choose, I'd take this one over others. Other than that, I'd say it's pretty good right now. I'm also gonna add the oil reservoir to either top of good or back of good. Somewhere in good here. I'm gonna put it in... I'll put it right here in the middle. Yeah, right here in the middle seems good. Now we're gonna move on to the vents. Or, with the natural gas geyser. Anyways. Carbon dioxide vent. Pretty useless. Honestly. You only take it if you're really hurting for carbon dioxide. And even then, there's better ways to produce it. Natural gas makes carbon dioxide duplicates, just make naturally carbon dioxide. And you can do petroleum generators in petroleum boiler. So, pretty useless, honestly. Steam vent. It's another water source. But it's not really... doesn't really produce that much. So I'm going to put it in okay. Now, you can produce a good chunk of power with it. And there are many different tutorials here on YouTube for different ways you can tame steam vents. So I'll leave it in okay for now. Chlorine gas vent. Ooh. I'm going to put it in very niche. Because in Spaced Out DLC, you can use puffs and you can make bleachstone so that way you can make hand sanitizer for rockets. And if I remember correctly, you need bleachstone so that way you can geotune the water geysers. So bleachstone is useful, but I mean, it's a chlorine gas vent. Now, cool steam vent. Where would I put this? I think I'm gonna put it before the steam vent. Even though the steam vent is technically hotter, I'd say it's harder to tame one of these cool steam vents. I know there are tutorials, but I don't know. You can get power out of this one. Hot polluted oxygen vent. Just like carbon dioxide, pretty useless. Unless you're extremely desperate for oxygen, you don't really take it. Maybe feed it to puffs, make slime, and then put it into an algae terrarium and make algae, and then feed it to fish, but still, it's hot. Like, really hot, so I'm gonna sit it there. Hydrogen vent, gonna put it in okay. Not the greatest source of power, because it is hot. But I'd take it if you can. Natural gas geyser. I'm gonna put it in good. I'm gonna put it somewhere in good. Because it produces power. I'm putting it with the oil reservoir. Yeah, that looks good. Infectious polluted oxygen vent. Very niche. Better than the hot polluted oxygen vent. In the sense that it is cooler. And in the Spaced Out DLC, all you need to get rid of the germs is a few uranium doors. So, I mean, it's not that worrisome anyways. Alright, let's do a quick overview. I think I'm gonna bump these up to Essential. Just because you can put a temporizer in a big tank if you want. Yeah, that fleshes out Essential a little bit more. Alright, now the volcanoes. I'm gonna put iron in Essential. Niobium can go in... I'm gonna put it in niche, and I'll explain that in a second. Aluminum, I'll put it in Essential. Cobalt, I'll put it in good. Tungsten, put it in okay. Copper, it's gonna go into either Essential or good. I'll put it in good. Gold volcano goes there. Minor, gonna put it in okay. Major, gonna go in good. Now, my reasoning behind where I've placed them all. Iron you can use to make steel. And iron being a limited resource usually, that's just a really good thing to have. Obviously, if you see a metal volcano, you should take it. You should. It's just a fact. Just do it. Any renewable metal is good. Lead will only last you so long. It doesn't have the greatest thermal conductivities, but I would put it up here still because steel. Aluminum, from my wiki searches, it does appear to have the greatest thermal conductivity out of these ones. Cobalt has slightly better thermal conductivity than these two. And blue metal is cool. Copper and gold both have the same thermal conductivities, which I was actually surprised about. And copper is going to go here because I like it. It gives more power when you volcano tame it. And gold is pretty easy to volcano tame as well. It's pretty easily self-cooled because it doesn't produce that much heat. Even though the metal is molten, it doesn't have that much specific heat capacity. So, not much is needed to do that. Volcano, I'm going to put it here because petroleum boilers, those do exist, but geothermal is always the thing. So, got to keep that in mind too. Tungsten down here, it's okay. Just based off availability. So far, I don't think you can get one in those little pods. Those little tiny geode pods, I guess you can call them. Minor volcano, you could probably tame it similar to like a normal metal volcano tamer, but it only produces igneous rock. So you're really doing it for the power. And if you have natural gas, hydrogen, steam vent, any of these, really, you should be able to get enough power out of those. Niobium? Now, I know I've hurt someone's feelings out there, but let's be honest here. Niobium just isn't really that available. There's one in the entire game, and it's on the superconductive asteroid. And by the time you've got there, it's like cycle 1000, 2000. You're getting into the late game with this. Just based off thermium, I would put it up here, like higher. But I'm going to keep it down here, just off availability. And it's also really hard to tame because you can't just put it in a steam room because it's hot. Alright, let's do a double check. See if I should move anything, if I should change anything. I think I'm going to put the liquid sulfur geyser further back. Not quite to the minor volcano, but further back. This lineup here, the niche lineup is what's getting to me. Let's do, infectious polluted oxygen vent in front. Carbon dioxide geyser can stay there. Niobium volcano goes in front of this and this, so I'll put it here. Arguing where you sit in useless is really not worth it, but put it in front there. It just slightly edges it out due to it being in fact oxygen. So yeah. Other than that, I'd say that this tier list is done. I'd like to thank, I think it's Magnet, or yeah, I think it's Magnet who made this tier list. I'd like to thank him for inspiring this video as well. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching. And I hope I have some civil discussions in the comments. Bye-bye now.